adventures, not a seasonal exercise but a way of life.
Good evening, and welcome to this week's World News. I'm Plato.
And I'm Jamilian.
More than 28,000 people were confirmed dead after an earthquake swept through Iran. As survivors of Iran's earthquake scavenged clothes and justice for handouts Tuesday, President Mohammed Khatami thanked the United States for their aid. About 70% of the houses in Qom have been destroyed, and although most victims have been buried in the rubble, rescue teams are still flying over the area by plane and helicopter searching for survivors. Two of the city's hospitals have collapsed, crushing many staff, and the remaining hospitals are full. Since the earthquake, they have found no new survivors, and aid workers are now shifting their attention to helping the homeless, the injured, and burying the dead.
U.S. airstrike in Afghanistan kills 9 children after an U.S. airstrike in southern Afghanistan. 9 children were found dead. The military is investigating to see if the U.S. forces are responsible. A known terrorist was believed to be hiding in Ghazni, the city of the U.S. forces bombed. Army Major Christopher West said, "At the times we initiated the attack, we did not know there would be children nearby. The military is sending a team of investigators to the site to see if the U.S. is at fault."
A man was mauled after he jumped into the lion enclosure.
Nathan Christensen, come to the office, please. Nathan Christensen.
Ayers Zoo, and began taunting the animal.
Hello and welcome to another special edition of the Weekend Review. Our top story involves Dan Rather. In New York, CBS anchor Dan Rather said Monday that he had undergone surgery to remove cancerous cells on his face, and he urged his viewers to get examined for disease. Rather, at 72, had been off the air for a few days, and CBS had announced that he had some basal skin cells removed from his face as a precautionary measure. Rather said the skin cells were cancerous and expects a full recovery. Basal skin cancer is the most common form of skin cancer, often developing because of prolonged exposure to the sun. During an appearance via closed-circuit television on Saturday, before television critics, Rather wore a large bandage over his nose. It remains a humbling learning experience, Rather said on the CBS Evening News Monday. So I thank you for your understanding and concern and urge you to get a skin cancer examination. In other news, the national terror alert was reduced from the high alert orange to elevated alert yellow. The level has been at orange since December 21st. Since the system was introduced in March 2002, it has been at orange 5 times. It is yet to get below yellow, the middle of the scale. The decision to increase the terror alert during the holidays prompted harsh criticism. Because no area was specifically designated, the whole country was put on alert. A murderer's remorse. In Menard, Illinois, a terrible slaying took place in 1978, and Jimmy Childers was only 17 years old when he was sentenced to a lifetime in jail. He was charged after brutally murdering his brother, mother, and stepfather by shooting and stabbing them several times. Now, 25 years later, Childers thinks he has paid his crime. He says he is very sorry for everything he did, even though he claims he can only remember bits and pieces of that night. There is an appeal pending before the Illinois Supreme Court. The appeal would cut his life sentence and it would be a plan to ask for clemency from the governor. Stuart Umholtz disagrees with the idea. Caswell is the county state attorney that says the investigators had nightmares after dealing with the case. He thinks Childers dying in prison is a good way to make him pay. Prosecutors claim the killings were triggered by an argument that started when Childers came home late from his fiance's house. Childers was about to be married and had also tried out for the Cincinnati Red Sox. In other news, Lucia Bunges will be able to get out of bed thanks to American and Romanian doctors removing a 175-pound tumor from Lucia on Thursday. When Lucia's family members could not pay for the operation, the Discovery Channel offered to pay for it in exchange for film rights. The tumor weighed almost double Lucicia's body weight and kept her bedridden. This tumor is small, though, compared to the 302-pound tumor that was removed from a woman in 1991 that's still currently in the Guinness Book of World Records. Some sad news. Anne Hageli was bicycling along the Wilderness Trail in Mission Viejo, California, when a mountain lion leaped out of the brush, pounced on her back, and dragged her off by the head. Other bikers threw rocks at the animals in the hopes that it would leave Hagel alone. The cougar ran off and left Hagel, a former Marine, bloody and near death. Hagel, who is 30, lay in serious condition Friday after the launch. That's all for Weekend Review. Stay tuned for sports and local news.
Duke beats Maryland. The third team was a challenge for Duke as they went to Maryland for the third time in 3 years as the number 1 seed. They lost the first 2 matchups, but with a lot of help from rebounds, they were able to stay in first and remain unbeaten in the ACC. Rebounding saved Duke, but they only shot 34% from the floor. Duke pulled down 24 offensive rebounds, the same number Maryland had on defense. Duke finished with 49 total rebounds compared to Maryland's 34. Lowell Dean had 12 of Duke's rebounds and 13 points. J.J. Redick led Duke with 26 points. Nick Canner Medley led Maryland with 21 points. The Blue Devils led by 14 points with 16 minutes and 57 seconds left in the second half, but Maryland closed it to a 3-point game with 4 minutes and 55 seconds left. But Redick hit free throws with 18 seconds left, making it 68-60, which ended the game. Sean Payton stays in Dallas. Sean Payton, assistant coach of the Dallas Cowboys, says is really excited that he will be staying in Dallas instead of taking a job at Oakland. He says he is really excited to be moving forward with Dallas and continuing the job they started last year. As for Oakland, he was flattered that he was interviewed and wishes them the best. In a Wednesday evening news conference, Oakland owner said they are still looking for a head coach. He has his eyes on people but hasn't found any replacement. Halliday stays in Toronto. The deal has been one of Toronto's major priorities during the offseason. Halliday was 41-14 during his last 2 seasons in Toronto. The pitcher signed for the same amount of time as third baseman Eric Kinsky and center fielder Vernon Wells. The trio helped Toronto win 86 games, an 8-game improvement from last year. The 26-year-old won the Cy Young Award, becoming the 4th Toronto pitcher to do so in 8 years. He led the majors with 22 wins in a stretch where he won 15 straight. Raiders get first spot. Joe Terwell got a big pick-me-up after he was too sick to go to school the other day, as we was told that the Quincy Notre Dame Raiders got the number 1 seed in the state. 27 years is how long it took them to get back on top of the chart. They got 7 of the 17 first-place votes. Getting first wasn't something they were aiming for, and they were more worried about playing, although they haven't had a lot to worry about, for their beat 12 of their 16 teams by 20 or more points.
Welcome to handcrafted steel chairs. Can I help you, sir?
Yeah. I want a chair, but I was just wondering how they were made first.
Well, follow me. There's one being made right now. These chairs are crafted by the finest Dutch metalworking dwarfs money can buy.
Well, very nice. In that case, I'll take 2 of them.
Hi, my name is Laken, and this is Emily, and we are here to show this week's Week in Review.
Let's get started. Speckhart seeks Illinois State Senate seat. Gary Speckhart is a 5th-generation family farmer from Adams County. Now he wants to represent the area in the Illinois Senate. If elected, Speckhart wants to work on improving jobs, education, and transportation in West Central Illinois. Speckhart says he wants to represent the 47th district and get it back in the Republican hands because he'll say no to Chicago influence on Western Illinois. Right now, Speckhart is not facing a primary challenge, so will likely be the candidate to face current state senator John Sullivan in the November election.
Blood shortage hits critical level. Regular donors like Steve Cramsey continue answering the call for blood donations. Cramsey says it's painless. It only takes a few minutes and you can help out whenever you can. But routine donors aren't enough. Quincy's American Red Cross says levels have dropped dangerously low, and the problem will likely continue to grow. With the new heart and cancer center in the area, the need for blood will grow. Donors like Cramsey know pumping fists bring more people the chance for pumping hearts. So it's a gift from the heart for so many in need.
New shop opened in Quincy's downtown. Owner Andy Austin says individual customer service sets kitchen solvers apart from the rest. He not only sells new countertops and cabinets, but he also refaces old ones with real wood fronts. His kitchen business doesn't stop there. You can also get tub liners to fit right over your old shower and tub. Kitchen Solvers is located near 4th and Hampshire.
The late Bonnie Jo Feig goes to Illinois' Outdoor Hall of Fame. A familiar face in the Pike County area has now earned a place in the Illinois Outdoor Hall of Fame. The late Bonnie Jo Feig from Kinderhook and 4 others will be inducted during a February 20th banquet. Feig co-founded the Pike County Deer Camp and Buck Fever Banquet to celebrate the hunting season and hosted a number of youth deer camps, an annual youth turkey hunt, and turkey calling seminar. As a teacher, Bonnie had the perfect platform for installing this love and respect in her students. West Pike High School was named as a check station during deer season, and again Bonnie was behind it. Feig's love of nature didn't stop just with deer hunting. When you're born in a rural area, nature is your first home.
KB Toys files bankruptcy. The corporate office hasn't decided which of its 1,300 stores will close. Chances are up to 500 stores could be shut down. The only local KB Toy store is in Quincy Mall. A final decision should be made in the next few weeks.
Well, that's all for this season of Mr. Plattner's Week in Review. Be sure to tune in next season.
So today we were discussing Jarvis and it had the new sign, and I totally messed up. And I felt really dumb because Lindsay made me feel, or Brett made me feel.
Shut up! You're annoying. Go away.
Johnny?
Don't worry, young man. I'm here. I got some pest away. Just spray towards annoying pests and they run away.
Now, put your hand on her waist and grab her hand like this. Be firm but gentle. Now put her arm on your shoulder.
Like this? Am I doing okay?
Good. Now just calm down and relax.
Oh my gosh, she is such a good dancer.
I'm relaxed.
Well, that's all the time we have. See you next Friday.
Okay, I can't wait. Bye, Divine Dinner.
You're silly, man. See you soon, Chucky. If you want barroom lessons by a professional, contact me. Divine Denny at 335-2061. It's only $10 a session. And that'll be the end. Bye.
Welcome to the local news section of the Weekend Review. I'm Andy, and this is Justin.
Word, this is Justin along with Fanny, bringing all the news that's fit to report.
Our first story takes place in Quincy, where Christopher Bartz pled guilty to murder of Clinton Lee in exchange for a cap of 15 years. Bartz waived the right to have a jury trial and took a second-degree murder charge. The original charges were first-degree murder and aggravated battery. The fight had occurred in September when Bartz and Lee got into a fight outside of George's Wishing Well, a bar located in Quincy. It was reported that Bartz had beat and kicked Lee while he was on the ground. Lee died the next day in a Springfield hospital. Bart's sentencing is set for March 25th.
In other news, a Quincy woman was found stabbed at 617 North 8th Street by Quincy police. The woman's wounds are believed to not be life-threatening and is being taken care of at the Blessing Hospital. A suspect believed to have stabbed the victim, also a female. Police are still searching for her. Police state that they found blood outside of the residency. They're not releasing names at this time.
Sounds like an old-fashioned cat fight. Getting back on subject, Quincy police stopped a vehicle at the intersection of 22nd and Oak for improper lane usage. In the vehicle was 17-year-old Chelsea Creech and 18-year-old Matthew Miller. When police tried to do a sobriety field test on Creech, Miller interfered. Miller was arrested for visitation.
You skipped one.
Was arrested for interfering with and resisting a police officer. Also for consumption of alcohol by a minor. After he was handcuffed and put into a squad car, he kicked out a window of the car. A backup squad car came to the scene and Officer Thomas Miller helped bring Matthew Miller to the Adams County Jail. When Miller got to the jail, it was said to have punched Thomas Miller in the face. He was also charged with aggravated battery to a police officer, criminal damage to government support property, and improper identification. Creech was arrested for driving under the influence and improper lane usage.
In Saturday news, through arrangements are set for a Macon soldier killed in action in Iraq last Friday. 29-year-old Chief Warrant Officer Michael Blaze died in a helicopter crash in northern Iraq. The presentation will be Sunday from 1 to 7 p.m. at Colonel Police Armory and Macon Funeral services will be Monday at 2 p.m. at the same location. Burial with military honors will follow in the Shelby Memorial Cemetery in Shelbyville. The family suggests memorials to a Chief Warrant Officer, Michael Boyce. Memorial Fund is for disabled veterans. Arrangements are under the direction of Greening Egan Hayes Funeral Home in Macon.
Our last story takes place in good old hometown Barry, Illinois, where the last remaining orchard in Pike County is going to the auction block. Apple Basket Farms is being sold. The owners are selling a successful business of almost 40 years. For the last decade, it has been a family attraction, employing about 50 people. Along with the orchard is a restaurant and a farm market. It is scheduled to go on auction sometime in April.
And we are out here saying, have a fantastic weekend. We'll see you next week.
That's right, Justin. Stay tuned for sports. This is Andy and Justin saying peace.
Hello, and welcome to this week's edition of World News. Let's get started. Gay marriage. The gay marriage debate took center stage in Massachusetts once again Thursday as a state lawmaker considered an amendment to the state constitution calling for an all-or-nothing ban on same-sex matrimony. The Bay State legislature reconvened at noon just one day after they narrowly rejected a compromise proposal that sought to legalize civil unions but ban marriages between two men or two women. The defeat of the compromise means that lawmakers will consider whether to try to ban gay marriage outright or to leave the state's constitution intact. A car bomb kills 50 people in an Iraqi town.